Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, California Resources Corporation, Bakersfield West Rotary Stroop Family Foundation, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, Bakersfield City School District, and the Kern High School District, with additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
We are live today at California Aeronautical University, and I am with Dr. Michael Berry, Director of Education. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Can you give us a little bit of background about yourself?
Well, from an Air Force family, my dad in the Air Force 28 years, so I grew up around airplanes. And so when I went to school, I wanted to learn how to fly. So in 1991, I got my pilot's license. I went on to Embry-Riddle, got my master's degree, and then my doctorate degree in management. So I've been around airplanes all my life.
And how did you get here to the university?
Well, it's very interesting. I was a director of online education at SBB College, and our president, Matt Johnson, we got the contract to come, and he came and asked me if I would help start the campus. So I left that job and was the first employee here.
And how long has the campus been here?
We got the keys to the facility August 15th of 2015. And our first group of students came in January 4th of 2016, 5 students, and now we're at 140 students.
Oh, wow. And you're going to give us a little bit tour of the campus. It is really big. And I don't think a lot of people really know the campus is here, because when I drove up, I was like, wow, this is really cool. Can you give us a little bit tour of what's going on here?
I can show you kind of where we're at with students and stuff.
Okay, what's behind us real quick?
Well, behind us here is, this happened to be my simulator. It's an early 1970 simulator that they used to use in the early part of education. The chair there, the instructor would sit there and they would close it off, and then the students would be flying, and the panel there, the instructor would change the wind or the altitude or the velocity or so, and they had to adjust to it. And then it's progressed now to the bigger simulator.
Do you still use this though?
No,
or is it just there?
It's fully functional, but we put it there so they can kind of see what used to be to kind of the more advanced simulators these days.
So this is, well, I would put it to like a ride, but it's similar to that.
Right. So what we do, it's cost effective. Students, we can put them in the flight simulator and all the avionics and stuff, and we can push a button there at 3,500 feet. They can start practicing versus getting in an airplane, going over, doing a run-up. It takes them 15 minutes to kind of get ready to fly. So we can do some of the things very quickly here and repetitively, and the things that might be more dangerous or that students feel a little bit uncomfortable about, we practice it here first
Before they
go out there. And so that's kind of interesting.
What type of planes do you actually use here?
So our basic trainer is a Cessna 172, which is pretty standard in aviation. So the Cessna 172, but they have what they call the G1000 avionics, which is state of the art. So where it used to be gauges and all that, now it's all digital. And they can push a button and find out what the nearest airport is. They can push another button, it gives you a map for where that airport is. You can push a button, all the weather. So it's really pretty decent.
And how large is it? I mean, how many people can fit inside that plane?
Well, the Cessna 172 is seated for 4, but you know, with the math aspect, we have to do weight and balance for every flight. So depending on who the pilot is and who the passengers are, we have to make sure that they'll fit into that aircraft so we maintain our weight and balance and our center of gravity. So that's part of the whole math thing that we do every flight.
That would be a great math problem.
Yeah.
Okay, can we continue on?
Yeah. Well, out here, so this is kind of where students hang together and talk, but we're going in here to the flight planning area. So we have right now, we have Elsa and Taylor, and so they're working on stuff. In here we have our students get together with their flight instructor, and so they'll look over the flight plan to make sure that that's well done. They'll look over their weight and balance to make sure that all that paperwork's done. They sit, and every flight they would do a pre-flight. Here's what we're going to do today. Here's what you can expect. And then they go out and do it. And then at the end, after their flight, they come back and do a post-flight. Here's how did it feel when you did this, and this is what you could do better, or you did this really well, but here's how we get ready for the next lesson.
So it's almost like a reflection.
Correct.
On what happened.
Yeah, it's a process, a debrief of what they did so that they can learn from that.
Okay. And then over here, this area also, is it like almost, it looks like almost like a study area?
Yeah, it's the same thing. So right now we've got Luis, who's one of the instructors, working with Hank, and they're getting ready to do a flight. We have some charts up here that they use to kind of plan. The whiteboard, they draw out the airport and what taxiways they might use and how to enter the pattern, all those types of things. We have a diagram of one of our aircraft so they can actually sit in front of it and desk fly. It's a lot less, it's more expensive to sit and
Yes.
practice there before they get to some of those other things.
And then you have a really cool room over here because it feels like we're in an airport
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you walk in here with all the monitors.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of the life center, dispatch. So if a student and their instructor are getting ready to fly, they come in here, and this is where they get all of their keys and stuff like that. And Nick, who's one of our students here, can maybe tell you about that.
Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Great, how are you?
Can you kind of tell us what's happening on all three of these monitors?
Sure, so this is one of the last stops that the students make before they head out to the airplane and go for their flight. So here we have a lot of great information presented to us. Our left screen here we have basically our roster. This is the students that are scheduled for today and their instructors and the plane, and who's currently out in the air and who's coming up next. So before their flight, the students can come up and double check to make sure they're in the right airplane that they're scheduled for, and see the instructor they're with as well. Our center screen is kind of unique. We use Flight Radar 24. This is kind of a live traffic map, if you think about it. Right now there's no traffic in the air above us, but you can actually zoom out to any location and see live air traffic. So if we come over here, we actually see one of our aircraft over here in Santa Maria, 435 Charlie Alpha.
Are they headed back towards
looks-
Bakersfield? Can you tell by looking at that?
It doesn't tell us from here, but you can sometimes, depending on the track,
Yeah.
it'll let you know.
If
You can assume that too. You can click on it and it gives all the information as far as its altitude and its heading, and even the aircraft information. Like our plane right there is a year old. So
Now, it's not only your planes, correct? It could be
Correct.
other planes as well
yeah,
on this?
as long as they're outputting what's called ADS-B information, it'll pop up on here. And sometimes it takes a little bit to load, but yeah, we can zoom out to the different maps and see exactly different types of traffic.
Wow.
Right now we have it filtered down though to our aircraft. Makes it a little bit easier to find.
That area. We are back live at the California Aeronautical University, and I am with one of the instructors, Moises.
Hello.
Hello. Now, you have a special role because not only are you an instructor, but you're also a student.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
And how long have you been a student here?
So it's gonna be my second year in this October.
And you're not from Bakersfield, correct?
No, I'm from Santa Cruz.
And how did you get started?
So I got started back. It started off when I was 10 years old. When I started with a young flight. Right, my mom took me out to the airport, and they took me up for an introductory flight just around my local town. And from there, I just been in the back of my head, and just always been excited to do that. And it wasn't until high school I joined a program my friend introduced me to, and there they introduced me to all the vast careers in aviation. And with that, they also provided helping me with my flight training, as well as my instructor, as well making it affordable for my family.
And here you are now, huh? Now, you have a math problem for us, correct?
Yeah, so we just have a simple math problem. So back in the days when we started, we started using these. It's called an E6B, electronic flight, a flight computer that we use. All right. So here we use calculated times and distance. So just like distance, rate, and time, we can figure out simple math problems. All right. So for example, we have our rate and our time. So if we were to use for example, we're flying 110 knots, meaning our speed. All right, we set our rate time right there. We look at our distance. All right, so our distance in nautical miles. So let's say we're going 80 nautical miles. We'll come down, and right there we can see we're between 40 to 45. So that little tick mark is being 44 minutes flight time is going to take to get there.
So it's like a little cheat sheet.
A little cheat sheet. And again, we expanded from this to using electronic. So again, it uses the same principles of all that. So in this case, it's weight and balance. So you use simple addition, subtraction, and multiplication that we all have to learn. And we use this, all right?
So you just need basic operational, foundational skills to help you.
Yeah, basic algebra skills.
Okay, so from this, where can you take that to use
So
that?
from this gets you all ready from your flight. So you know what to do and how to prepare, what exactly distances, times, and safety things that we have to know, and we can take it up into the sim.
simulator.
Yep, the
Okay,
simulator.
and that's where we're going now, right?
Mhm.
And we have Elsa in here. Hello, and she's actually going to kind of help me out. Okay,
Hi,
Elsa,
welcome.
let's say, what am I doing here?
Okay, so today I put you on the Honolulu International Airport. So we're
So
gonna
we're flying to
take off-
Hawaii? Or we're flying
we're
into
already-
Hawaii?
we're on-
Okay,
already
I'm
in
on
Hawaii,
vacation.
and we're just gonna fly around for a little bit. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take off. I'm gonna unpause the flight,
Okay.
and you should. There you go. So it's already started. So you're just gonna add full power.
Okay, am I pulling or pushing this
You're
in?
gonna push that all the way in,
Okay,
and you'll see it start to rise. So go ahead and push it all the way in.
okay.
Okay, and so you'll see we're starting to move now, and we're picking up airspeed. So you can see our airspeed's picking up here, right there.
Okay.
And then once that number gets to 55, we're gonna do what we call rotate. Okay, so put your feet on the pedals there.
Horse
And
pedals.
pull
Oh, okay.
a little bit of right there, so we can stay on there.
Okay.
Hold it here, and then now I'm gonna help you, and we're gonna pull back on this.
Okay.
It's calling what we call rotate, and there you go. And so now we're climbing.
Oh, yay! I took off. Oh, I didn't crash.
Not yet, no. And so now we're just gonna fly around. You can go as high as you want. And so the cool
Okay.
thing about planes is, unlike cars, we actually use our pedals, so our feet on the ground to steer. And then in the air we use this. This was our ailerons, so right now we're turning. So we can actually go back to level
So
here.
what do the pedals do again? That controls?
So the pedals on the ground, we use those to coordinate. So unlike turning here
Oh,
with your
okay.
steering wheel, we turn with our feet. And then in the air, we use our yoke here to turn there.
Oh, okay.
And one of the cool things is pilots, we actually have to calculate our banks of turns and everything like that and how fast we're going and use all of that. So you can see here we're doing a 20-degree bank.
I'm
and
talking to
that's what it
you
looks like
and
there.
I'm turning because I'm going this way. Well, this is so cool. Thank you. It just you just did it so much easier. And you are also an instructor here.
Mhm.
I want to thank you, but I'm going the wrong way. I want to go this way. We are back live at the California Aeronautical University, and I am with another instructor, Nick, who is also a student here. And we are outside with an actual plane that you guys do use.
Yes.
Can you real quickly tell us protocol?
Sure. So we normally come out here and start towards the back of the plane, and we make sure that everything as far as aircraft goes looks nice and sound. The antennas are attachments is loose on the bottom. There's nothing extreme, any kind of big dents or anything like that. We continue working our way towards the back here, and we double check all the different connection points of the elevator, make sure everything's all good to go. Same with our rudder, our antennas. Kind of a nice eyeball check and all the linkages and stuff like that to make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay. Real quick, inside also
Yes.
you have your check that you have to do prior to takeoff,
Yeah.
correct?
So just like the outside, we do an interior check with our systems and everything. This is usually after we start the engine especially. This plane's kind of nice because it tells you anything that could possibly be wrong with it for the most part. It's a G1000 NXI, so it's pretty advanced. And this plane itself is actually brand new. It was born in March. So.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Elsa and Moises for having us here today, because it's been really kind of cool, and there's been so much. There's so much more to check out. And if you are interested in becoming a pilot, go ahead and check out the California Aeronautical University with Dr. Barry. And again, thank you, and I'd like to give you a tile just as our appreciation for letting us come out here. Thank you so much. And there is so much more to check out here, but that's it from us today.